Are there any other questions? Yes. Number 20 said XX6. All right. So on 20, we have, this is 20. They told us that this is X, and this is X, and this is 6. And there's the right angle. How do we set up this equation? Eric? Where's the right angle? Right here? What forms the right angle? Yeah, but what segments form it? So those are the what? Those are your legs. So you're going to say x squared plus is equal to, all right, what is 1x squared plus 1x squared? 2x squared. What's 6 times 6? What do we have to do first? Divide by 2. So x squared is equal to 18. Now what do we do? We're going to square root, and we get 2 answers, positive and negative. X is going to equal whatever square root of 18 is, which is 4 point, what is it? 24. In the book. Other questions? All right, what about a Pythagorean theorem quiz? Would that be a good, well-scored quiz? I see no's and I see yeses. Okay, so when would that be a well-scored quiz? I'm not thinking next week. I'm thinking maybe Friday. Would that give you enough time to study for it? No? I think we need it. We need to bring up your quiz average, and the purpose of the quizzes is to get you to study as we go. If you wait till the night before, I don't know if you're studying or if it's too much to study all at once. So you're going to have one question that has a diagram like above, and you're going to have one question that is an application. This is major SAT, ACT. Pythagorean theorem is over and over and over on those tests. So is this an important concept? Unfortunately, the Common Core, the new standards, expect you to already know this from middle school. So we did it in Algebra 1. We're going to do it again. Leslie? Word problems like the worksheet. So you're going to have one like the worksheet, one like a diagram in the textbook. So one, the picture is drawn for you, labeled. You have to figure out what you do for the Pythagorean theorem. The application, you have to draw a picture. Yes. Two questions just to get you to study. All right. The purpose is to help raise your quiz grade. I'm hoping that this will be an easy quiz, not a hard quiz. This is going to be Friday. This Friday, day after tomorrow. Okay? All right. Hopefully I'll have a little bit of time to go back and talk about the EOC. This is not the EOC. So we're going to open. Today we're going to talk about basic circle vocabulary. All right. So this was your EOC question. Write the equation of a line. Keyword here is parallel. What do you know about slopes of parallel lines? What do we know about slopes of parallel lines? Those are perpendicular. What do we know about slopes of parallel? They are equal slope. How do we take this equation and get the slope? You have to get rid of the 4 and the 3. You need y equals. You got to get this into y equals form. You find its slope, and will you use this slope or do you use the opposite reciprocal? You use this slope. What's opposite reciprocal slope for? What kind of lines? Perpendicular. And then you're going to take this slope and you're going to take this ordered pair and you're going to do y2. No. You're going to do y take away y1 equals slope times x minus x1. And you're going to then solve for y. Does that help, Nick? Okay. So you got to look on the syllabus and figure out if we just have 2 tonight or if we have 2 and 3. I'm guessing it might just be 2 tonight, which would be good practice for your quiz Friday, wouldn't it? At least one of those questions. All right. So let's talk about circle. What is a circle? You all played with circles before? What's a circle? Pardon? It's just a circle? It's got a definition. It's a set of all points in a plane, a given distance. What's that given distance called? Radius. From a given point. What's a given point called? Yes. Circle is a set of all points that are a given distance. That's the radius. I need a pen. This is the radius. From a given point called the center. So we use, because the center is a point, we use capital letters for the center. We name the circle by its center. So this is called circle A. Now, diameter of a circle is a segment whose endpoints are on the circle. Okay, right? A diameter starts on the outside on the circle and passes through the what? Center. And passes through the center. What is this part called? A radius. What is this called? A radius. So my question is, a diameter is equal to what? Is equal to radius plus radius, and that is correct. And Jeff said you could also say 2 times the radius. How many people knew this? Just 3? Okay. So, diameter is made up of 2 radii. Congruent circles are circles with equal, and the plural of radius is radii. Concentric circles, that's the target symbol, are circles with the same center. But in order to be concentric, they have to have different radii. So there is a real-life example of concentric circles that you will see many, many times from now until January 1st. They've already started advertising with a present and a little dog. How many degrees are in a circle? 360 degrees. We're going to learn another way to measure angles in a circle. So I'm going to give you extra credit. You can earn extra credit homework. This is your extra credit homework assignment. Pardon? It's really easy. Your extra credit homework assignment is to print Exploring Radian Measure. Nope. She's asking you to print it and bring it to class tomorrow. Exploring Radian Measure. It's online. It should be under worksheets. Or it may be called Radian Investigation. I don't know which. So it either should say Exploring or Investigation. That is an extra credit homework assignment. And it doesn't get much easier than that, guys. Okay, so let's look to see what else we have to do. All right, we have a right triangle. We talked about that already. We did that, we did that, we did that. All right, so to construct a circle, you need to know two things. You need to know the center, and you need to know the radius. So if you had a compass, you would have to know where to put your compass point, and you'd have to know how wide to open your compass. Does that make sense? All right, so what's going to happen is, how wide is that? Well, not quite 3.5. If this ordered pair is x comma y, do you agree that this is x? I've moved x units. And if the y value is y, I've moved up what? Y units, correct? So this is the radius of the circle, agreed? So if we use Pythagorean theorem, we're going to have x squared plus y squared equals r squared. In other words, this is the equation, I'm linking algebra now to geometry, of a, this is my abbreviation for circle, whose center is 0, 0. And that's straight from what theorem? Because this is a leg, this is a leg, and this was the hypotenuse. That's why we needed Pythagorean theorem in order to introduce you to this. So the Pythagorean theorem is not a standalone, but it gets us to where we are here. All right. So now if we look at this point right here is HK, this point right here is XY, and here's the origin. So if I go from here to here, that's H units. If I go from here to there, that's K units. If I go from here to over here, that's X, and from here all the way down here is Y. So now if I wanted to get this length, I'm going to have to take this x, this is distance formula. Remember how we did this number, take away that number, gave me this number in the middle? So that right there would be x minus h. There's a minus in there. To get this distance right here, I'm going to have to take the whole, which is y, minus this part, which is k. So now using Pythagorean theorem, it becomes x minus h quantity squared plus y minus k quantity squared is equal to radius squared, because that's my hypotenuse. This is the general formula for the equation of a circle. I need you to know this. And more importantly, h, comma, k is your center, and r is your radius. Not r squared, r. You have to square root that number. So this is question 3 on your quiz. I want you to know this formula. This should be an easy grade because it's memorization. I will say write the equation of a circle whose center is hk and whose radius is r. So all you have to do is write that. So you have one triangle, you've got one application, and then you've got this. Know it. It's x. You got it, Harper? Okay. So this is where it's fun. I think you're going to like this. I want you to make sure you understand that what is between h and what's in between here. The what? Subtraction, correct? So you have to identify the center and radius of each circle. So if I want the center, why did I choose -1, -7? Why? In order to pull out the center, what must we have? We must have subtraction. So this is the same thing as x minus a -1, agreed? And this is the same thing as y minus a -7, agreed? That's why it's -1, -7. This is r squared. So how do I take 49 down to r? If r squared is 49, what's r? What did you do? Square rooted. All right, what's my center going to be here? 3, -5. Basically, you're going to take these out opposite as they appear. What is my radius? Square root of that, which is 4. What is this center? This center is going to be 1, 3, and this radius is going to be square root of 12. Yes. Wait a minute.